Entered the chat. MLB trade deadline come and gone. I'm George Balekji. He's Travis Thomas. We're coming to you guys from the PNC Bank studio. We will get to the MLB trade deadline. All the moves the Red Sox made.
Yep.
They got a deep bullpen. They made
busy.
additions. They bought at the deadline. More moves done now than I've seen the last two seasons.
They were busy.
Which is big. Then we'll get into the latest with Matt Judon and the Patriots. It sounds like it's becoming a holdout. And then we'll talk some NFL as well and all that and more. All right, Trav, let's get right into it. Let's start with the what's trending.
Okay.
Starting with the NFL. Jets head coach Robert Saleh said that quarterback Aaron Andrews, the reporter for Fox.
I mean, I'd like the Jets' chances better with her than Aaron Rodgers. That's just me.
Aaron Andrews doesn't do darkness retreats or ayahuasca. Aaron Rodgers is unlikely to play this preseason. He's still recovering from an Achilles. Now, he said, quote, I want to leave it open. That third game is the one where we're deciding.
Yeah.
He definitely won't play the first two. Let's all remember that he's coming back from a torn Achilles.
Right.
And that normally takes a year. And, of course, happened 5 snaps into week 1 of last season, game 1 and all that.
Right.
Whether he plays preseason or not, I don't care. They just got to find a way to ease him into real football. And I think don't risk your preseason, get him going regular season.
Yeah, I mean, that third preseason game's against the Giants.
Yeah, it's a Snoopy Bowl.
Yeah.
It's literally called the Snoopy Bowl.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't need preseason. All I do is make fun of Aaron Rodgers and say he gets on my nerves and he's never sober. He's at his darkness retreat and he's on shrooms. I make fun of him. But, I mean, on this one, let's all relax. Aaron Rodgers does not need the preseason. Just show up. Week 1 in San Francisco against that defense. Yikes, on Monday night. How's that going to work out? I think we all know. And let's see how he fares on that one. He doesn't need the preseason. Just be healthy.
He hasn't had it the last few years in Green Bay when he was winning MVPs coming into New York.
He doesn't need it.
Didn't do it last time? No. It's a matter of making sure he's 100% right instead of rushing him back, re-aggravates it. You're donezo. Your window is only open if he's under center.
Absolutely.
Because otherwise they're screwed. All right, looking at the Olympics, Simone Biles won her 5th gold medal of her career, first since 2016 games. Now the most decorated U.S. Olympic gymnast of all time.
Yeah.
Reaffirmed she's a GOAT. But her, Suni Lee, the rest of the crew, absolutely dominated, and they got gold. For the U.S., first one gold for American women gymnasts since 2016, too.
Yeah, I like the word you used. It reaffirmed she's a GOAT because we already knew. But after Tokyo, you had so many so-called geniuses out there saying that, she quit on the team and all this nonsense. And then we learned of her mental struggles. So if anything now, I think this, you say reaffirm, but I think this really hammers it home that look what she's overcome now. She's overcome the mental aspect of it. And she did this while hurt. I mean, she has a calf injury. So she's literally playing hurt, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it just adds, if anything, I think it adds to her legacy. Most of us felt like she was a GOAT anyway, but the haters out there who are giving her such a hard time after the Tokyo games has to kind of eat crow a little bit and be like, all right, what can you really say? She had mental health issues. She overcame that. In this Olympics, she has physical ailments, physical injuries, physical issues. Overcame that. The GOAT.
She was dealing with nerves and everything to build up to an event like this. Relied on meditation. Suni Lee was dealing with some nerves and some mental health herself, but it was her going to Simone Biles' room the night before the competition.
Wow.
Them sticking together as a team, talking through it, got everyone locked in, and they absolutely blew away the competition. I believe it was Italy that got silver, and U.S. beat them by 6 points.
Wow.
But it was the second they were done, everyone knew what happened. Everyone knew who was winning gold.
Yeah.
Once again, seeing that dominance. All right, let's get into it with the trade deadline.
Here we go.
Red Sox additions. Relief pitcher Lucas Sims.
All right.
Luis Garcia. Johan Ramirez. It's back and forth.
Yeah.
They got catcher Danny Jansen, a right-handed bat, which they needed.
That's right.
And then Quinn Priester, who 23 years old, could be a AAA prospect, but also is very young and has some MLB experience. The Red Sox bullpen, you look at it now. Kenley Jansen, Chris Martin, Liam Hendricks, Brennan Bernardino, Lucas Sims, Luis Garcia. They needed help in the pen.
Depth.
And they needed help with their lineup. I also say all this with Tristan Casas is starting his rehab assignments in Worcester. As of the recording of this podcast, he had his first rehab assignment with Worcester done. Hasn't started yet, but it's done. That could be an addition because then that moves some guys around, gives versatility to the infield. But what do you think about what the Sox did at this deadline?
I wanted more coming into this deadline. And, listen, I think you and I even talked about it. They addressed team needs, and they were busy. And they certainly were more busy at this deadline than they have been the past few seasons. So I'll take it. They addressed needs. I'll take it. They needed a few more arms. They got it. They needed a few more bats. They got it. I wanted, like I'm sure many people, the big splashy picks, the big splashy moves, the big splashy names. It didn't happen. It's fine. It happens. There was a guy I wanted, particularly in Jack Flaherty. I kept hearing his name.
Yeah.
Obviously he ends up going to the Dodgers, I believe it was. So it is what it is. They miss out on that. But that's what I was looking for. I was looking for a big name that I could say, yes, here we go. That didn't happen. I think Breslow doing what he did and not giving up a ton to get it either. I mean, you address these needs. They didn't give up any big name prospects. I'll take it. Whatever can help you in the American League. I've been saying all season long the American League's wide open and winnable. After this deadline, I don't necessarily feel it's quite as wide open as it was pre these moves, but nevertheless, you're still in the mix, and once you get in the dance, anything can happen. Stay healthy. They got some depth here. We'll see what happens. So overall, I'm happy that they did anything. I'm not even trying to be funny. We haven't seen them do anything for a few seasons. They did something. Was it the moves I was hoping to get? Was it the big names? Was it the splash? Was it the fireworks show? No. Did they address team needs? Yes. Is that good enough? Absolutely.
And it's, again, I say when they're healthy, Slayton, Chris Martin, Liam Hendricks, adding that to a Cooper Criswell, who has experience either as a starter or a relief pitcher. But adding these arms, and Lucas Sims, sub-4 ERA, heavy on the sweeper, and added his cutter, that's Andrew Bailey's bread and butter. Luis Garcia, under team control through 2026. Yeah. Andrew Bailey was his bullpen coach with the Angels a few years back.
Yep.
And with Danny Jansen, they desperately needed a right-handed bat. Obviously, in Fenway, you have it with you just got to hit him hard and straight and at the green monster, and good things will happen.
Yep.
But he's plus on defense behind the dish. So he's kind of equivalent to Reese McGuire, but you get more defensively. And that ends versatility to your infield as well. Juan can go out to second base. You can move Cedane Rafaela to center, or just keep him as short where he's been reliable. It just adds so much flexibility throughout the lineup. And then what their lineup can be: at catcher, Wong or Danny Jansen; first base, Casas or Dom Smith; second base, Valdez, Romy Gonzalez, Connor Wong; shortstop, Rafaela, Hamilton; third base, Raffy; left field, O'Neill, Duran; center field, Duran, Rafaela; right field, Wilyer Abreu; DH, Massa O'Neill. I wanted a bigger bat ad, more for that DH spot to add some juice there. But Craig Breslow went out, parted ways with 4 of the top 30 prospects, including the number 12 overall prospect, Nick York, in the Sox farm system.
I was shocked by that one.
But he was willing to part with value, which Chaim Bloom was unable to do. Towards the end of Chaim Bloom's tenure, no one would pick up the phone because he was stubborn and he wouldn't move from what his price is.
And you didn't give up your top prospects.
And moving Nick York, though, and I get it, but the Sox have so much middle infield and outfield depth. Right. Right now at the major league level, but within their farm system, that they had the luxury to part with a guy like Nick York. That's sought after. Third, second, left field.
That's true.
He can play that for a major league team, like the Pirates that need that middle infield depth.
That's true.
They went with what they have a plethora of, a lot of, and they got something that they needed, and that's in Quinn Priester, who could be a good pitcher down the road. But I love that the Garcia team controlled through 2026, Johan Ramirez through 2027, so it's moves for now and it's moves for later. It's a slow rebuild, and the Sox are ahead of schedule, and I think fans need to realize that. But I do like these ads because it's an investment in the team right now. Craig Breslow was told to go out and make deals happen, and they got a lot of pitchers, and you know what? If some of these guys pan out and you develop them and they become better, like a Lucas Smith, that's what you really need to work on. Like a Lucas Garcia, who's a sinker, split finger slider, and has a sweeper. Again, these are guys that Andrew Bailey likes to work with. That's what's big for the Sox. So, they didn't get the sexy name. They didn't get the big name. They were in the mix for Jack Flaherty.
I know.
But what was the price?
Yeah.
And they were in the mix for some others, but what was the price? They didn't completely jeopardize their future, but still invested in the now.
I wonder if it's enough. I mean, I'm just looking right now as we talk at the American League outlook, we'll call it. And I mean, you know, outside of winning the division, they're 6 games behind the O's. I'm just looking at the wild card for the sake of the conversation here. They're a game out of that final wild card spot right now. Royals have the final wild card spot as we speak. They're playing pretty well right now. Twins are not, and the Yankees are not. So I don't know. We'll see. I'd still look at Seattle. You know, I just wonder, although they didn't make the big splashy moves, and we bring up Flaherty, right? I just wonder if the moves they did make, and I know you're talking about the future, and I'm cool with that, and I do understand that, and you didn't mortgage the future for the right now, which is likely the right move. I will defer to that. Like, I'll admit that that's the right move. I'm just a guy that just wanted them to swing. And so in my mind, I'm just wondering if it's enough, man, because I'm telling you, with the moves the O's made, with the moves the Mariners made, there are teams in the American League going for it. And I think they're going for it because it's so wide open. And I wanted the Red Sox to do that. The Red Sox did address team needs, and I'm happy with that. But they did not. I feel like someone like a Flaherty is a potential shift of power almost in the American League, and it just didn't happen. Thank God he did not go to an American League team ultimately. But we did see that happen with the O's, with Eflin. I mean, that's a big move. We did leading up to the deadline. We did see the Mariners even leading up to the deadline make some moves. So I just wonder, George, if it's enough.
For a team that I think they're looking at it not just for this season, but seasons to
come.
They're
looking big picture.
They did enough, yeah.
Right.
And I think
which
short term,
I get.
They did enough heavy lifting off the front.
Yes.
To put them in a place like this, where these are guys, and we can see right away Andrew Bailey have an effect and the pitching development they've done here. And you get a guy like Danny Jansen in 7 years of major league experience, an older vet, was loved in that Blue Jays clubhouse. Get some of these vets in to teach these guys how to win.
Leader.
That's what I want to happen now, though. And I do like that they kept looking at the bullpen, They knew they needed help there. I want there to be a playoff run. I want there to be that playoff push by this team. I hope they look at it and they understand they were invested in. You know, you and I have spoken about it again. Like, they're not dumb, the players. If nothing happened, if the clubhouse was the same, they're not dumb. They know where they need to get better. And that would have been discouraging. But they're going to see new faces. They're going to see new life into this bullpen. Some new leadership and some new voices in there.
Sure.
Along with guys coming back like Casas, like Hendricks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And those guys adding juice to the lineup as well and to the clubhouse. And I do see a second half playoff push.
Yeah, that's listen. Sometimes when you get those big names too, like how you laid that out was beautiful in a sense of these are all clubhouse guys.
They got grinders, man.
Yeah, and they're going to fit into the culture you already have. And I think that is a good point because, I mean, for God's sakes, I wanted Vlad Jr. Like, I was playing fantasy baseball. But sometimes when you get big name guys like that and they come into a clubhouse, it can disrupt whatever chemistry you do have, whatever aura you do have as a team, because it's like, whoa, look, we got so-and-so. That's not the case here. Yeah. And you're getting, and you're right, you're getting guys that fit the culture is probably the word I'm looking for. You're getting guys that fit the culture, the Alex Cora, and you have already established as a franchise, and that works. Again, it's not so much a knock on what the Red Sox did or didn't do. It's just I'm left wondering if it will be enough. I don't necessarily feel satisfied with just this team can make a postseason run or this team can get into the playoffs. I look at the American League as winnable. I want this team to say we can go capture this right now and win the American League. Not saying they can't, but that's what I wanted from the trade deadline. I wanted a big swing. I wanted a Jack Flaherty because that sends a message. We are going for it all. It doesn't mean they can't get there. I just don't know from the deadline if that's my takeaway.
Either playing for the now, for the future, and maybe to go out and get a guy like Flaherty, just 28, dominant as hell. It would have been too much of giving up on your future. Yes. And they want to rebuild this farm system or revamp it. Are winners losers? Deadline for you?
Well, I already talked about a winner. I don't know how the Orioles can't be a winner on anyone's list.
They're not on mine.
Listen, you're not paying attention. Eflin with Corbin Burns is ridiculous, and they trade for the lefty Trevor Rogers, starting pitcher, who his ERA is not great, but he was starting to get hot at the right time. They added other arms to the bullpen. They added some bats. That is a young team that just acquired playoff experience last season, and it didn't go well. They got smoked. So now you're bringing in all these arms for your rotation, which was already decent. I'm telling you, man, I think the O's mean business, and that's exactly what I was talking about. I think they see the American League. Right now, they're at the top of it, them and the Guardians, but I think they see it as, no, we're going to the World Series. So let's take some big swings. They did it. To me, they won the trade deadline. I don't even think it's particularly close. I like what the Mariners did too, but the O's really went for it. That rotation means business. They got all veteran dudes. All dudes with playoff experience. Here come the Orioles. I believe in them.
I just went with the best team in baseball getting the best arm out there on the market,
Fair.
Jack Flaherty. So that's why I didn't go Orioles
Can't
on
hate
it. Sub-3 ERA, 94th percentile in whiff. Strikeout percentage, walk percentage. Doesn't let guys get on base, point blank, period.
Yeah, bro.
And just 28, but he's been around the block for a long time. You add that experience to this. You have the two best players in baseball, Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts.
Yep.
They need to get healthy when it comes to the rotation with the Walker Buehler, with the Tyler Glasnow, guys like that. Mm-hmm. But you add Jack Flaherty, that again is reaffirming what they're doing, and that's going all in now. That's a team that needs to go all in right now.
Yeah.
The Red Sox don't need to. The Dodgers do. You need to go. Dave Roberts does for his job.
Yes.
But as long as you have Ohtani and Mookie Betts, you got to give yourself the best chance. I think the Dodgers did that. What about your loser?
Well, loser, I went the Rays, which is ironic because I always bet against the Rays, and I say they're going to be down this year, and then they always still win. Right now, as of we do this podcast, they're just a couple games under 500, and they're just a couple games out of the final wild card spot. Yet, they sold all their pieces. It was a fire sale. So I'm like, well, what are the Rays doing? What's the standard there? You don't win World Series already, so isn't for you the standard just getting to the postseason? And it just seems like they're just blowing it up to me, like they're rebuilding. I don't really get that. The fans already don't go. You already don't win titles. You're relevant. You're in the playoffs. That feels like the standard, and you're not far out of that picture, yet you're selling all your pieces. I don't get it.
I went Yankees. I know they added Jazz Chisholm. That's a good leadoff bat, but they need a pitching.
Yeah.
You have Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. You don't know what you're going to do with Juan Soto after the season. You have the two best batters in all of baseball, and you did not go out and improve your pitching. Garrett Cole isn't 100% back.
Right.
Their whole Cortez, Rodon, their whole rotation has been crap. Their bullpen is terrible. You have the two best hitters in baseball, and you didn't do more. It's the New York freaking Yankees. It's good for Red Sox fans. It's good for the AL.
Sure.
I see the Orioles winning the division. I think the Red Sox finish ahead of them in the wild card because this is a Red Sox team that needs to get through this slump right now.
Yeah.
And I think this new energy they put in the clubhouse will help. But for the Yankees to just sit there and not add any pitching, and they got to figure out the Gleyber Torres situation for them too, who's just being toxic in himself, they're in an awful spot.
You have them falling apart and missing the playoffs at all, Yankees, or you still think they get in?
How far up are they on the wild card?
Well, I only ask because right now you have Yankees, Twins, and Royals, and the Sox. We know one game out.
Sox
of now.
and Royals are surging.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe Yankees because I don't believe in the Twins,
Me
but
either.
it's not going to be pretty for the Yankees no matter what.
I think we're going to have, in whatever order, I think we'll have Yankees, Royals, and Red Sox.
I believe that too.
I think the Twins
That's a
fall
fun
out.
wild card.
That's a fun wild card.
Get Bobby Witt Jr. into the playoffs, man. That kid's everything.
Yeah.
It's good to have the Royals back in the playoffs, too.
Facts.
That's a sleeping fan base. And then the Red Sox to be ahead of schedule. We know how it's going to be in the city. It's going to be palpable.
By the way, even if the Yankees are a wild card and they hang on to get in, I still think Cashman and Boone are gone after this year. Because so what? You get it. You make a wild card and then what? Lose to whoever? What difference does it make?
I don't know what their thinking is with Cashman. I don't know how he never leaves. Boone's gone, though. Boone is gone.
They should both be gone, don't you think?
This has been I grew up in Jersey, guys.
Yeah.
I grew up in Jersey. I've been listening to it for my whole life. He hasn't left yet. I don't know. It's like he's a made man.
Fair.
He could be messing around, collecting points from the wrong guy, stepping on other people's corners. It doesn't matter. He doesn't get whacked. I do not know. All right, let's talk about someone that's...
You are from Jersey.
Let's talk about someone that's trying to fight their way out of Boston. So it seems. Matt Judon. It's now looking like it's going to become a holdout. There's some good fan tweets we got coming in. Let's pull up one on the screen right here. This is a great one from Pat's season that came up. But it looks like Matt Judon, Trav, doesn't want to be there anymore. All right, so Trav, Pat's season tweeted, This is coming from a fan. It's going to be an interesting situation with Judon. I would honestly trade him while his value is the highest. He's going to be 32 when the season starts and probably only has a year or two left of good production. Getting a second or third for him would be great. You're not going to get a second for Judon.
I don't think so.
He's 32. He's disgruntled. He's very unhappy. He wants his way out. But I wouldn't say his value is the highest right now. Because if you at least come to agreements on a deal of some sort, of whatever, and he just shows up and starts playing, and then someone out there gets injured, then you as a Patriots have the upper hand. Or, again, same thing. And why I would extend him right now, Trav, is because you give him the money, and whoever you trade him to, he's not a rental. He's a 2-year plan. The Lions, who have a couple years of their window.
Yeah, because he wants to get paid.
The Bears, who have a couple years of their window. If something happens to those teams up front on their defensive line, they need a defensive end, you pick up the phone, you trade Judon, and the price goes up. And good for him. You're putting him into a spot where he has a much better chance of even being in the playoffs, let alone winning a Super Bowl going there. But with the part of, and this is where I come back to, I think they agree to a deal, but he is 32. I understand why the Patriots are like, you're going to play out the contract. You go to free agency. They should get something in return. So there should be a future-making move on this. But it's more about his value right now. It's not the highest. It's going down, but then something can happen outside the league, and then it can go up. Something could happen in training camp, man. Every day we're seeing someone leave the field with a torn ACL, a bad ankle. Something can happen across the league where they could trade him right now, and they're waiting for that opportunity.
You're not wrong. I just don't know if time's on their side. I actually think the Patriots need to move off this guy sooner than later because he's already causing problems. He's already causing a distraction. He's already, we saw him show up to the practice and hold court. Now he's not showing up. It's too much. It's too much noise. I don't know if you can wait for someone to get hurt so his value's higher. And like the tweet said, a second or a third. I agree with you, George. You're damn sure not getting a second. I personally don't even think you're getting a third. I think at this point now, you're talking about a 4th or 5th round pick for Matthew Judon now.
It could be a 4th rounder, and if he meets certain thresholds, snaps, games played,
so it's like a
sacks,
conditional 4th.
Conditional 4th can become a 3rd, which would be great. But it is at the point they got to make a decision soon.
Yes.
Because it's also what he's doing. He's making Gerard Mayo look bad.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And when you have Judon sitting off to the side, sitting on a trash can, or a tackling dummy, a tackling sled, whatever it is.
What message is that sending?
Exactly. Oh, that's a lead in the locker room. And it's even to the guys if Judon's off to the side. They're like, all right, I got hurt. I'm just going to chill.
Right.
They don't care if I'm practicing or not.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Because he's not going to practice and he's going to play. It sends a message.
Yeah. I understand the culture Gerard Mayo's trying to create of openness and everyone can talk about their feelings, and that's fine. But you also still have to have like consequences too. And you have to have some order to things. And you just can't have people out here doing whatever they want willy-nilly, which is why if I were the Patriots, not that I'm making an example of him, but I would trade him and move him so we don't have to deal with it anymore, A. But I would also do right by him, B, to still send the message that we care about you. And we are this culture of everyone, of openness and everyone's feelings being heard. Yeah, that's a real thing. So we're not going to send them to, the bottom of the barrel here. We're going to do right by the player, send him somewhere he has a chance to win and get paid. I like the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears, second to last in terms of sack production out of teams in the NFL last season. Montez Sweat had a great season. No one else did jack shnikes for them, to the point where I felt as though they should have taken a pass rusher in the first round after Caleb Williams with their pick. We know they went wide receiver, and we know why. They're trying to address the offense. I don't have a problem with that now. I just thought it was a missed opportunity for the Bears to pair someone with Montez Sweat. As I look at this now, this is another opportunity presenting itself to the Chicago Bears, a team with cap space, a team with a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal. Go get this monster, Matthew Judon, who's pissed off now that he's not getting paid. Bring him in, give him a couple years, a couple mils, give him whatever he wants.
It's more than a couple.
Well, it's more than a couple. Let him ball out next to Montez Sweat and you got a guy with a chip on his shoulder that's going to play well for you, that's what I would do. Arizona Cardinals, another team towards the bottom of the barrel there. They had a tremendous draft. They have Kyler Murray fully healthy and we think dialed in, locked in for this season. Go get a Matthew Judon to put on your defense. On that fast turf, that fast track, this guy should be amazing. Those are a couple teams right there. You could give up a conditional, you're right, a conditional 4th-round pick, bring him in, pay him, and he's happy, and he helps your team win. It's in the NFC. The Patriots don't have to think about it. Bears and Cardinals both could be sleepers in a very wide-open NFC.
I go Lions out of those
and Lions. You like the Lions, too.
I like the Bears.
I don't know their money situation. They got cap?
They have $12 million this year in cap space.
Right.
Not as much. No. They have more cap space than the Bears. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Bears have $12 million this year. They'll have like 30, 40 plus next year. Lions have around $34 million in cap space this year, and it goes up next year.
Bears, Lions, Cardinals are 3 beautiful destinations.
It's good. It's a good spot for him. I mean, to me, he'd be the winner in this. You get paid, and you go to a contender for the Bears or Lions. When you look at the Lions window, everything on offense is taken care of. Offensive line, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, running back. Everything's taken care of. Last year on defense, we saw Aiden Hutchinson in a sophomore season break out.
That's right.
Brian Branch, one of their draft picks, broke out and played really versatile on that entire defense.
Yep.
They got 2 corners, including Rakestraw from Missouri.
Yep.
They have everything there. Put someone opposite of Hutchinson, and when you're in a division, taking on Jordan Love, taking on Caleb Williams, you're going to need to get after the quarterback with multiple dudes, more than Hutchinson. Get him helping Judon, and for Judon, it's a great spot to end up in because that is a team. Same as what his window is to finish being an impactful pass rusher, 2-3 years left. That's the Lions' window as well.
Yeah.
And if he goes there, they have the cap space. The only thing I can think of is the draft pick won't be great, but whatever. If you get something in return for Judon, that's what you want.
Yes.
What he's doing right now, I think from the jump and how it began, showed up, no pads on, fully participated, and was basically saying, you know what, good faith, I'll show up in practice, you guys got to pay me. Then Jabril Peppers got an extension. He didn't get one. Pads come on. He goes, I'm not even going to wear cleats. Showed up in sweatpants and shoes. Gerard Mayo spoke to him. Got animated. He left. Came back in shorts and flip-flops. He sought out Elliot Wolf and Matt Groh. That talk got animated.
That's crazy.
And now he doesn't show up to practice the second day of full pads at all. It went from a good faith, I'll show up, I'll practice, I'll participate, I'll be a full participant to I'll hold into, I'm not showing up. This is a holdout, man.
That's right.
I'll play my leverage. You guys aren't going to pay me. I'm not going to show up. I don't care.
That's why I think you have to trade him. And I think time is of the essence because the longer this drags out, the louder it gets. And I also, if you're Matthew Judon at this point, I understand in the beginning, it was a lot of what you said. You know, I want to be here. I'm not the villain. I don't want to be traded. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, if I'm him now, get me the hell out of here. You don't want me? You're paying everyone but me? Cool. I'm tired of trying to convince you that I'm worth what I know I'm worth. I can go out on the market and get it. Just put me out there. Get rid of me. Send me somewhere. Someone will pick up the phone and want a Matthew Judon. And I believe the teams that we've made the most sense in terms of football. But hell, if nothing else, I guarantee you get John Harbaugh on the phone. Now we'll see what they're willing to give up.
Baltimore's
and they don't even need him, bro. And they don't need him. They have their defense is solid.
So why give up draft picks for him?
I'm saying Matthew Judon deserves at this point, in my opinion, and I would imagine he has to feel this way. He deserves to be somewhere where he's at least wanted. And it's clear that the Patriots will not pay him. Because you still are holding out hope there's a deal that's going to get done. I don't believe that.
As of the time of this recording this show,
I don't believe it.
No,
but I'm saying you think a deal could still get done. I don't. So I'm saying, if nothing else, pick up the phone, work the phones for the guy, call around the league. Hey, listen, we're at a stalemate here. I just want to know your interest. We're interested. We'll give you a fifth. Other team, we're interested. We'll give you a fourth. Other team, will make some calls and send them somewhere who will pay him and wants him there because it's clearly not here.
When you have $43 million in cap space, and again, what they were doing with the extensions for Onwenu, for Kyle Duggar, for Jabril Peppers, they're projecting Christian Barmore. They're projecting to other guys out there. If you're drafted, you'll get a second contract. If we sign you, Jabril Peppers, Hunter Henry, you will get a second contract.
Right.
You could still project to the vets. You come here, it's not a one-term deal.
That's right.
If you
We'll
play
take care
hard
of
for
you.
us, we'll take care of you down the road. So that's what it is. There's more than just taking care of Judon. And also, in a foundation year, you want to lay down the culture. You got to do this before it gets toxic and it starts to affect other players. But it's either you pay him, but it also is the example set where Judon does this and then gets paid. Next year, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it the year after that? These other guys that are coming up on contracts. Oh, I want money. I won't practice. And Elliot Wolf will give me the check. That's where it gets delicate on this one, where Judon either played his way to get traded or the Patriots are looking at it like, we want to keep him. He's a core guy. He's a leader. He's popular with the fans.
Why didn't they pay him?
But
then?
if we pay him now,
Right.
I think they were waiting for a wide receiver. Hey, Ayuk isn't signed yet.
Right.
Ayuk is not signed yet.
Right.
The Niners have the cap space. He's not signed yet. They went after Calvin Ridley. They picked up on the phone on Brandon Ayuk, but the Niners didn't want it. And that's what they're holding out on. That's a bigger need. But now with Judon doing this, and also when he woke up after that Jabril Peppers extension, he's also like, Christian Barmore, hope it's going to be okay. But Judon's like, all right, you lost your best defensive player. You're about to lose your second unless you pay me.
Yeah.
Big new teacher, big substitute teacher energy where you smell they're not going to do anything from Judon. I'm like, I don't care. I'm just going to mess around in class.
He's just pushing it.
Yep.
Yeah, well, then it's time to go. I mean, look, if I'm that substitute teacher, even though I don't know the rules or how to discipline these kids, how the regular teacher does, I do know how to say, get your butt up, get out of my class, and go to the principal's office.
You're talking from firsthand experience with substitute teachers.
I mean,
you'd be
I was a
nightmare.
teacher's pet.
BS. The way you ended Foxborough Rush, bro, you were throwing pens at the camera. I didn't know what to do. There's stuff like I've covered live news coverage during riots, like swallowing tear gas and finishing my live hit.
Damn.
That one threw me through a curveball. I was a teacher's pet.
I was not the greatest student, but
you were a kiss ass. You weren't a teacher's pet.
No, I wasn't the best student. However, here I am. And you know what? Some of those teachers along the way used to say, Travis, if you just apply yourself, you're going to be great in life. Well, I did, and I am. Who do you think you are? I am.
P. Weber. All right. NFL they're starting to put out their top 100.
Yeah.
Number 100 was your boy, Zaire Franklin.
You're damn right, and it was too low. I mean, this guy leads the league in tackling. What more do you want? You put him at 100? How dare you? You know what else you did? You had Sauce Gardner in the 40s. I mean, what are we doing? People don't even throw to his side of the field.
Sauce was 38.
Okay, close enough. People don't even throw to his side of the field. What are you, knocking him for that? He didn't shut it down enough for you his rookie year? I mean, come on. This list is a joke, bruh.
You have Trevor Lawrence at 94. I just think it's funny. A guy that got $200 million guaranteed.
I'm okay with that one.
94th best player. Yeah,
I'm
that's
all right
fine.
with that.
Rodgers at 92. The one that I had issue with, Tristan Wirfs, 85. First 2 years in the league, right tackle.
Yeah.
Every single snap. Never missed a game for the Bucs. One of the best
Super
right
Bowl.
tackles.
Yeah.
Flips to the left side this last season. 5 sacks allowed.
Yeah.
6 hits allowed. 13 quarterback hurries. Out of left tackles or offensive tackles in general that played at least 80% of the snaps for a starter in the NFL, he was first in sacks allowed, or actually top 7, excuse me.
Okay.
Hurries, he was among top 5 in the league too. He's one of the best left tackles.
Wow.
He's one of the best tackles in general. He's 85th. Is projecting Herbert at 75, Jesse Bates at 73, Garrett Wilson at 72. Herbert's one of the best quarterbacks. Jesse Bates is one of the best free safeties.
Yeah.
And changed that Atlanta defense. You saw Cincy without him.
Yep.
And Garrett Wilson, again, but this is projecting what they're going to do. That is a question mark on what happens with Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was 92. You'd like that. Tua at 36, ahead of Burrow, Sauce, and Quinnen Williams.
Burrow's 39, bro.
Disgusting.
I mean, yeah.
Tua ahead of Joe Burrow.
Right.
This is projecting what they're going to do. Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa. I do not want to hear it. My boy Jordan Love at 34, though. I don't disagree.
I don't hate it, and we know he's moving up the list as well. I'm so upset with the Zaire Franklin thing. Like, I get how he's come out of nowhere. Like, I do understand that, right? He was a late draft pick. No one cared. He's undersized. No one believed in him. I keep telling you this. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. Not only can he ball, but I'm just going to talk about that team. I really am so high on the Indianapolis Colts this season. I think that team could win that division. No one's talking about it. Everyone's talking about Trevor Lawrence and the Jags or C.J. Stroud and the Texans, which they've only been good for 5 minutes. We don't even know if that's real, what we watched. It could be a mirage. They could be 8-9 this season. It happens all the time. So no one's talking about the Colts, and they have literally everything checked. They have a starting quarterback who, small sample size, but we know can play in Anthony Richardson. It's just a matter of can he stay healthy or not. They have weapons for him. They have the defense. I'm telling you, I think the Colts and Zaire Franklin are being slept on completely. 100 on this list? You lead the league in tackles? Really? I mean, what are we doing? I understand offense is running the league and selling tickets, right? But, like, defense still kind of matters, doesn't it? Can we acknowledge that, NFL? Kind of? They're not wearing flags yet.
Being an off-ball linebacker, and I think leading the league in tackles can be a deceiving stat.
Oh, God. Here you go. So you would have had him 100. You like where he's at on the list.
I think it's fine.
Jeez Louise.
No offense to a friend of the program, Zaire Franklin. He's an awesome guy. I watched Blake Martinez lead the league in tackles for the Green Bay Packers. You know what Blake Martinez would do? Running back would come through the hole unchecked, perfect hole, misses a tackle. Then he chases him down and tackles him 20 yards down the field. Leading the league in tackles, it could just be a little misleading.
Aiden Hutchinson at 47.
Yeah, it
feels like he should be in the 20s.
Then it's going to come but think of the edge rushers.
Yeah,
that are going to be ahead of him. Myles Garrett, T.J. Watt.
I didn't say the 10s.
The Bosas.
I ain't say the teens.
Those are 20s.
Right. He's in that group.
Projecting
He's in the 20s. You don't think? Hutch is 47, dog?
Do Patriots have anybody in the top 100 so far? I don't think so.
I have not seen one.
I actually don't think they have a single one.
Is that right? I haven't seen a
You do your
Patriot.
scrolling. You do your scrolling.
I didn't look just for Patriots.
Bad podcast. No, keep going.
What do you call it? Filibuster?
Yeah, I got to filibuster with something. Look, my thing with Tua Tagovailoa is that he shouldn't be in the top 100 at all. This. I should be a politician. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, Devin Chan, all those guys should be in the top 100.
Wow.
Which they are. Raheem Mostert was on it. The offensive line. Were you going to put Tua Tagovailoa at 36? Put Mike McDaniel. Boop. Right there.
Right.
I understand he got paid. And I think that contract is worth it because it did come out to be team friendly, him only making around $40 million a year. He could have been a real prick about it and be like, no, you're giving me 55 a year like Jared Goff or Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. He executes it to a good level, but he doesn't dazzle. So to see Tua at 36, Tyreek Hill was the MVP of that offense, not Tua Tagovailoa. You're propped up by an MVP. I don't want you 36. Ahead of Joe Burrow, the top 3 quarterback, ahead of Sauce Gardner, the best corner, ahead of Quinnen Williams, one of the best disruptors in the game on the line of scrimmage. Tua's way too high.
This is not good, bro.
Did you get anything done?
Yeah, no, I got it done. There are 0 Patriots. And listen, we're only going higher up to the list, closer to 1. So you know damn well, ain't no way you're going to be on that. So if this would be the range. 100 to 31 would be the range. Not one single Patriot. Not one. One?
Not even Duggar.
Nothing.
Maybe I could see Barmore being on that. I could see Christian Barmore being top 30. And this list was submitted before he's out indefinitely. So.
Right. I don't know, bro. I feel like he would be in that 40 to 31 range.
Hey, I got something for you, Trev. We got to end strong here, all right? Ready?
Sauce Gardner's 38. So it's just like.
Hey, ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah,
you're right. Quinnen Williams is 30. Man, Barmore ain't going to be that high, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just said Christian Barmore is better than Quinnen Williams. Damn.
That's what
Christian
I'm saying.
Barmore is great. It was a bad team. They're going to deal with this. Like Judon or Barmore, the 2 guys I think of that could be there, and they're not there.
They're not going to be in them 30s and 20s, dog. It's not going to happen.
Hey, to the fans out there, we love it when you guys call in 617-790-0928. Email us, thechat@nesson.com. We got an email from my boy, Hogan from Connecticut.
What up, Hogan?
He asks, if you had to lose your hands or your feet, which would you choose?
You know what, Hogan? I take the shout out back. I take the shout out back, Hogan.
What?
I mean, what kind of damn... You could ask us anything in the world. about sports.
He went with the
life,
icebreaker.
relationships, love, hate. You ask me about if you had to lose what is this, Saw? Are you Saw? Are you going to come out on a tricycle? You want to play a game? What is this, Hogan? Let me tell you something, brother. When you send questions to a show,
I love this question.
A family program like ours.
This is not a family program.
You love this question?
Yeah.
Then you answer it. Go ahead.
I'd rather lose my feet than my hands. And I'm picturing I'm coming back like Oscar Pistorius, minus the murder. But like, A, that'll be me. B, I mean, my hands are so much more useful than my feet. Like, I'm not going to act like I'm a pro athlete or I'm doing anything crazy. Bro, I did a stair workout over the weekend. Yeah, 68 steps by me in Charlestown. I went up and down 15 times total. 2,080 steps total.
Legs
my
burning.
calves are still sore. Like with these legs, what are these? What are these legs? I'm good. I'd rather have my hands. It comes one or two ways. I either come back as Oscar Pistorius, or if I lose my hands, am I like Will Smith in iRobot? You know,
with the bionic.
I'm going right to MIT, and I'm going, what do you guys got for me? I will sell my body to science. What do you got? Give me something here.
This is sad.
Answer it.
How dare you, Hogan?
Answer
This is
it.
ridiculous.
Answer it. You have
I
an
mean,
answer.
I don't know, bro. I kind of like walking and running, so I guess I'd figure out my hands. I'd rather figure out my hands. I would.
Bro, you have no knees. You'd rather keep your feet. Your legs are already shot.
Exactly. I have no knees. So the worst thing I could do now is lose my feet. I mean, at that point, what am I doing? Just give me some bionic hands. I'm good with that.
What you're doing right now, grabbing that pen, that'd be really difficult.
Not with no bionic hands. If listen, that's the other part of this, Hogan. We're
It's like,
making
what's
our
he
own
after?
rules.
Yeah, what's he after?
Yeah, like we're making our own rules here. If you get the tink tinks, I call them tink 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 tink. If you get those, or I get the bionic hands, like if that's allowed, I'll take that. If you're saying lose and it's
just
gone,
yeah, it's gone. It's gone.
man, Jack, that just got heavier. I think, I guess I go feet, bro.
You'd rather lose your feet.
I guess
you could
so,
get around
man.
easier with no feet.
I just feel like it would be cool to have bionic hands.
I
So in
agree.
my head, I'd rather have that. I'd walk around like Silver Surfer. I'd have them silver, and they every time I'm in a room for no reason, I just slam my hand on tables and get dink. You could hear it.
What's on the guy's rings from that Spike Lee movie with the pizza delivery guy in Brooklyn?
Oh,
What's that movie? What's the movie?
Oh God, not I don't know. I can't think of the movies.
Well, it was
I know
like
what
Love,
you're talking
Hate,
about.
the rings he had
it
or
was,
something like that?
Do the right thing.
Do the right
By
thing.
the way, there was a character I think in Street Fighter that had like the silver hands like
That'd be
that.
sick. I like that idea. What if the hands were like frozen ice blocks, but always cold? Knock dudes out.
Oh,
It's like a cylinder block.
I like that. What kind of question was this, Hogan?
You like what you just said? I like that.
I know, but
If I had cylinder block hands, the guy I ran into in Beverly over the weekend, it'd be over in 2 seconds.
He wouldn't have said anything. Though.
I would
That's
not
a problem.
I'd have cylinder block
When you
hands.
hopped out of the car and you had those hands, he would have been like, "Never mind."
I'll go on with my day.
But if you had Oscar, what's his face?
Pistorius. Minus murder.
Yeah, that's not intimidating at all. You got to have the hands, bro. The bionic hands.
See? You
No,
just spun
don't
this
see
on
me.
You just spun
This is your fault, Hogan, for sending this question in. You see what you've done here? I didn't even want to be a part of this. Now you've roped me into this. I'm talking about bionic hands and icy hands like I'm some character on Mortal Kombat. I'm not. I'm just a man, Hogan.
For everyone out there that overcomes
Yeah.
some form.
Shout outs to you.
Shout out to you guys.
Even
Warriors every
but
day.
even them, they're like, why would you ask that, Hogan? Why?
You know what? I feel like they would give an open answer of if they were wheelchair confined or if
Yeah.
they didn't have hands. They'd be like, actually, this is what I would think. You know what I mean?
Oh, they
Like, hey, I don't have hands.
They
I
have
would,
more
I would still not
insight.
want my hands. Yeah.
Yeah. For now, though, I'm happy to have both, and I'm happy that this segment is over. Hogan, the next time you send a question,
Send a life question, Hogan.
just yeah,
Life
hey,
advice.
Yeah, like how can I make my girlfriend happier, or what do you guys think of the Red Sox rotation, maybe, or something like that. Ketchup or mustard, something basic, not as heavy as this.
Girlfriend happier, get flowers once a week. See, there we go. We gave some life
Once
advice.
a week?
Once a week.
Damn.
When I go to
dog.
Trader Joe's, it costs me $6.
Oh,
Girls don't care about the price of flowers. It's just they like flowers.
balling on a budget. I like it.
It's, yeah, come on. Just get the flowers. That's it for this episode of Boston has entered the chat.
I picked mine myself.
Hogan, appreciate you. I'll steal from someone's property. Appreciate you submitting the question. He's Travis Thomas. I'm George Balekji. He's Boston has entered the chat from the PNC Bank studio. We'll see you guys next time.